I always forget English words when I'm speaking. What should I do? We need to talk. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you know a lot of English words, but when it comes time to use them, somehow, magically, they disappear? It feels frustrating, right? You've spent hours learning new words, expanding your vocabulary, and when you need to use them, they just vanish. But why does that happen? It's okay, I'm here to help you. My name is Kurt, I'm a Cambridge certified English teacher with over 15 years of teaching experience, so I've had the opportunity and the blessing to speak to people all over the world, including you. Today, I want to share with you my secret 3-step formula that has helped thousands of students all over the world master the beautiful English language. But before we start, let's imagine this is your brain, right? This is a jewelry box. It has everything I need in it. I have my watches, I have all my jewelry, all in here. But everything is all cluttered up, everything is all messed up. And I end up having difficulty to choose because even though I have everything that I want in here, I still cannot choose what I want because I cannot see it. Does this ever happen to you? Probably it does. It's the same thing with the English language. We learn many words from books, from podcasts, from music, but when it comes to using them, everything is all jumbled up and messed up. And unfortunately, when the time is right, we can't choose the words that we want. We have too many options, right? It's a good problem to have, yes, but why is that? Everything is so confusing because you need to organize the box. If you see these words in a text or hear them in a conversation, since they are organized, you will automatically recognize these words. So what exactly is the problem over here? The problem is that the words are passive. They are inactive in your head. They don't move, right? So what is an inactive word? And what's the opposite? What is an active word? Let's start with an active word. An active word is a word that you use comfortably when you want to communicate, whether that is writing or speaking. Active words are in your brain and they are organized, so they are easy to use. On the other hand, inactive words are all the other words in your brain that you picked up from podcasts, from books, from the television, from your favorite Netflix show. But just like my jewelry box, they are very disorganized and you can't choose what you want. From my 15 years of teaching experience, this has to be one of the biggest problems that language learners face. They have a lot of words, but they don't know how to use them. You know what? This is something that we should learn, and the faster we do, the better it would be for us. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. Let me ask you a question. What would you rather have? 3 active words or 15 inactive words? Well, the answer is pretty obvious, right? Me personally, I would choose 3 active words over 15 passive ones. So, Kurt, if I have a lot of passive words in my head, how can I activate them? So let's begin. The first step, simple. Write the word down. Back in my days, when we had floppy disks and dinosaurs, we used to use books and a pencil, right? Or a pen, whatever. Nowadays, I prefer to use my phone. In fact, I have an app. It's called Google Keep. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it. And whenever I hear a word that I like, especially when I'm listening to my favorite podcasts, I write it down on this app. Now, the best thing about the phone is that if this word intrigues me, if it causes curiosity, right, I can look it up immediately. If I run around with a book and a pencil or a pen, I can't take a dictionary with me. So I prefer the phone because it's much easier. I write the word down and immediately I look up the definition. Think about it this way. Every single word you write is taking you one step closer to having your own personal dictionary. Perfect. So now I have a new word and finally I can use it in a conversation. Thank you, Kurt. I think we're done. Well, unlike that guy, we cannot stop here, right? Just writing the word down and its definition, even though it's a good first step, it's not going to help us to communicate more effectively. So what should I do now? So what should you do? Step number 2. Use that word in a sentence. Before you do that, make sure that the word you use is used in its proper context. What do I mean by that? We all know that English sounds simple, right? But it's not. One word can have a myriad of different meanings. So, just to simplify life, for example, let's have a look at the word spring. What is the meaning of spring? I'll give you 3 seconds. I hope you're ready. Here are 3 different sentences using the word spring in 3 different contexts. The first one, spring is my favorite time of the year. Second one, the cat sprang on the table. Third one, they found the natural spring in the mountains. There are 3 different meanings to the same word. In the first sentence, spring means a season, We have 4 seasons, right? Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. In the second sentence, to spring means to jump on or move suddenly. For example, a rabbit can spring onto the table, meaning it can jump on the table. In the third sentence, it means a natural source of fresh water, just like a little teeny weeny lake. So this is a very important step. So make sure that when you learn a word, you learn it in the right context. And you learn it in all the different contexts. So if you hear it coming from different sides, you will know in which context that word is being used. When talking about context, one thing that I've discovered that helps me remember words more easily is to personalize the context. What do I mean by that? For example, let's say the word spring, right? If I want to remember an example easily, I personalize the context. How did I experience the word spring in my life? And here's an example. I like to go jogging in spring because of the fresh air. This is a realistic personal example. It's true, so it will be much easier for me to remember. So after we've written everything down and personalized the example, what's the next step? The final step is to use the words that we've written, the word, description, and the context in a paragraph. Writing down a paragraph will not only help you remember the words, but they will calcify and cement the words in your head. Let's have a look at the example I wrote that is a personal one about the word spring. This is a real life example, so I personally can relate more to it. In spring, the flowers start to bloom and the weather gets warmer after winter. Last year, while hiking in the Alps mountains, I found a spring where fresh water was coming up from the ground. I was so excited that I tried to spring up and down, jumping over rocks, but I almost slipped. It was such a fun day and I hope to visit that place again. As you can see, the word spring is used in 3 different contexts and all of them are personal. Didn't you say you have a bonus tip? Yes, I did promise a bonus tip, but first, before we move on, I want to remind you that it's very important to use this 3-step system. Why? Because all the inactive words that you have in your head, after you implement the system, will change to active. And this will boost your confidence and you will start communicating way more effectively. What is this bonus tip, you might ask? The majority of words in English can be grouped up in what we call collocations. What is a collocation? A collocation is when 2 or more words often appear together. They like to hang out together, right? Because they like the sound of each other. For example, here are some collocations for the word spring. Spring cleaning. It's the tradition of thoroughly cleaning a house in the spring. We do spring cleaning every year to freshen up the house. To spring into action, to suddenly start working or moving quickly. For example, when the fire alarm rang, everybody sprang into action. Third example, to spring to mind, which means when an idea or thought just pops immediately in your head. For example, when you say the word vacation, the beach springs to my mind. I have tried many online dictionaries over my years of experience, and one of the best I found is ozdic.com. Apologies for the funny pronunciation. I will link it down in the description below. It's ozdic.com. It's free to use and it will explain every single word you look up in a lot of detail. Plus, it will also give you the collocations. Actually, come with me. Let's have a look. And here we are, my friends. OZDIC, Ozdic. I guess that's the correct pronunciation. It's a fantastic dictionary. It will help you with accuracy, fluency, with improved vocabulary as well. So it will recommend similar words like synonyms, for example, and it will help you understand the word on a deeper level. Not just knowing the word, but also understanding the word. It can be used for professional use and it's actually ideal for language learners. So I always recommend this to the majority of my students. In fact, now let's have a look at the word spring, right? I was using this example for the past lesson. Spring, as you can see, the first definition is it's a season. It's an adjective, right? So it's everybody's favorite season, I guess, probably second to summer. And that's the definition. Now, if we had to scroll down, there's also a second definition, which is a cold metal or wire, right? And there's also the verb part of it, to spring, right? Remember the example I got with the rabbit sprung on the table. So there, over here, you have every single thing you need related to the word you're looking for. And the part that's interesting for us, the phrases, right? These are the collocations: to spring open, spring to attention, spring to your feet. These, coupled with the examples I got before, you will have a very, very, very good arsenal of vocabulary, and automatically your communication is gonna improve a lot. And so will your confidence. That's amazing! Thank you very much, buddy. You're very, very welcome. What I like you to take away from this video is that it's important to understand that learning a language takes a lot of time. There are no shortcuts, right? And it's very important to activate your vocabulary. Just like I said with the jewelry box, it's pointless that you have everything in a box and you cannot use it. Mastering vocabulary requires a lot of time. You need to spend time, and the more time you spend, the more you will learn. And I'm still doing this till this present day. When I was a kid, one of my math teachers told me, it's not practice that makes perfect. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. Think about it. If you want to thank me, please hit like and subscribe, as it will really help the channel out. Tell your family and friends about this, your colleagues, anybody you know that is learning a language. I am pretty sure that this system will help them communicate way more effectively. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for spending your time with me. Have a look at the other videos that I've posted recently. They will also be very beneficial. I posted one about business English, and also there's a test that you can take and you should take in order to test your English level. Thank you very much once again. If you have any questions, comment down below. I will personally answer them. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.